Good evening there, everybody. What is happening? Hopefully, I having a wonderful day today. So, I thought that I would talk about this Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora fight, at least a little breakdown of what I seen yesterday, and I thought that I would talk about it. So, anyways, for those of you guys that did not hear, Joseph Parker ended up getting a split decision victory over Derek Chisora yesterday in a very, very tough fight, obviously, because it was a split decision, but when it comes down to the overall, let's talk about it. So, I remember when I did a prediction on this about 3 weeks ago to a month ago, and I said that this has the potential to be a very tough fight for Joseph Parker, that I would be picking Joseph Parker in this fight, but Joseph Parker does have certain faults to where I think that this could make for a very close fight, and that this would be his toughest fight, probably within his past few fights. And I had a certain amount of people disagree with me, say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Joseph Parker's a top 10 heavyweight in the world. He's going to knock Derek Chisora out. You're wrong about Joseph Parker. He's a lot better than you think he is. Well, when it comes to Joseph Parker, it turned out I was right on the money. And a certain amount of people may not like that. Listen, it's going to be very easy for a certain amount of people to claim that this fight was a robbery. In my opinion, do I think it was a robbery by giving it to Joseph Parker? I didn't score the fight round by round, but when it seemed like I was watching when I was watching the fight yesterday, it seemed like Joseph Parker was pulling out the second half of the fight. He pretty much was doing what I thought he was gonna do, which was be on the back foot, try to out jab him, try to outwork him, which is regularly what Joseph Parker does in certain fights like this. So he pretty much had the game plan that I thought he was going to have. The problem is that even with him changing corners, I believe with what he's done now, Joseph Parker still has a lot of the same faults. I still see someone who is not A grade technically. I still see someone who is very hittable, someone who overall can get hurt with certain counters because he does not keep his hands up, especially when backing up. He backs up in a straight line, and overall that can make him very hittable. And he did get knocked down in that first round against Derek Chisora. So it is what it is. Joseph Parker, when it comes down to it, do I believe that he's a top 10 heavyweight in the world? I do believe he is. But once again, when we talk about some of the other technical boxers, I've just never quite seen him on an A grade technical level. And a certain amount of people may disagree. I think that Joseph Parker is a decent athlete. I think that he's got decent speed, decent strength, and overall, once again, I think that he's an all-around decent athlete. But when we talk about him being an A-grade technical boxer, I've just never seen that. And Derek Chisora was able to pressure him a certain amount of the times and give him a lot of problems. So it is what it is. He was able to go in there, try to counter him with that overhand right, especially hurt Joseph Parker a couple of times, I believe, in this fight. He was able to really out pressure Joseph Parker in a certain amount of these rounds, trap him up against the ropes, and he did pretty much what I thought he was going to do. The question is that did Derek Chisora possibly deserve to win this fight? I'll have to rewatch it because once again I did not score this fight round by round. But it looked like to me Joseph Parker probably just pulled out of this fight. But will this version of Joseph Parker defeat a lot of the other top contenders? I'm not too sure if he will. Once again, Joseph Parker to me looks like he has a lot of the same faults. It looks like overall he has a lot of the same problems. But I do have to give him credit for pulling out of this fight. Derek Chisora, even though he's not a top 10 heavyweight in the world, he is a tough fight for anybody usually. He usually tries to put on the best performance that he can. He can be a tough fight for almost anybody out there. So I give Joseph Parker a decent amount of credit for defeating Derek Chisora. But he escaped with a split decision by the skin of his teeth in this fight. So it is what it is. Anyways, that's really about it. All I have to say for this fight breakdown. Congratulations to Joseph Parker, but I do still need to see some improvements from him. And I just really did not see a massive amount of improvements from him in this fight yesterday. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's really about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.